Saturday at Vélez Sarsfield could become one of the most fascinating nights of Argentina's rugby year, because the challenge waiting for Los Pumas is enormous. Across the field will stand the Springboks, a team built on experience, physical power, tactical intelligence, and perhaps the deepest squad in international rugby. Argentina, meanwhile, will enter this contest with a dramatically changed lineup, several inexperienced players, and the absence of their first-choice fly-half. But if there is one thing Argentina have never lacked, it is courage. In front of their home supporters, Pablo Matera will lead Los Pumas into a test match where every collision, every scrum, and every possession could tell its own story. For Argentina, this match arrives at a difficult moment. Their performances this year have not consistently matched the high standards they set previously. They suffered a dramatic defeat against Scotland, responded with a victory over Wales, and then endured another frustrating loss against England. The pressure has grown, and now they face perhaps the toughest opponent they could have asked for. But that pressure could also become motivation. Argentina have an opportunity to forget the disappointment of recent results and produce a performance that reminds the rugby world exactly what Los Pumas can do when they play with confidence and discipline. Standing opposite them will be a South African team that has also made a large number of changes, but the meaning behind those changes is completely different. When Rassie Erasmus rotates his squad, he is not necessarily weakening his team. Instead, he is bringing back some of the biggest names in South African rugby. Siya Kolisi returns as captain, while Ebenezabeth, Lud de Jager, Sasha Feinbogn-Gomezulu, and Morn van den Berg are also back in the matchday squad after missing previous action. That is what makes the Springboks so dangerous. Their strength is not limited to 15 players. Their bench can change the entire character of a match. South Africa can begin with enormous physical pressure and then introduce fresh international quality when their opponents are already exhausted. For Argentina, surviving those final 20 minutes could be the greatest challenge of all. But before the Springbok replacements can make their impact, Argentina will have a chance to create problems of their own. Felipe Contepomi knows that his team cannot allow South Africa to play freely. The Argentine plan is likely to focus heavily on the breakdown, the collision area, and defensive pressure. Los Pumas need to make South Africa uncomfortable. They need to slow the ball, challenge every breakdown, and prevent the Springboks from building the quick attacking sequences that have become such an important part of their game. Players such as Pablo Matera and Benjamin Grondona will have major responsibilities in that battle. Their ability to compete at the breakdown could determine whether Argentina can disrupt South Africa's rhythm. If the Springboks receive quick possession, they can attack with speed and precision. If Argentina can slow that possession, suddenly the pressure moves in the opposite direction. The atmosphere at Vélez could also become a major factor. Argentina's supporters will know exactly what is at stake. They have waited for this opportunity, and they will expect their team to fight for every meter. Every big tackle could bring another wave of noise. Every successful scrum could lift the confidence of the players. Every mistake from South Africa could make the pressure even greater. And then there is Francisco Moreno. For Moreno, this will be a moment unlike anything he has experienced before. He is set to become Puma number 909, but his first appearance in international rugby could hardly be more demanding. The young forward is preparing to pack down against Born Venter, with Lud de Jager adding enormous power behind the Springbok scrum. For a player beginning his test career, this is about as unforgiving an introduction as international rugby can provide. There will be no easy introduction and no time to slowly adjust to the intensity. From the first scrum, Moreno will be asked to demonstrate strength, technique, discipline, and composure. Every engagement will test him. Every scrum will provide another examination. But Felipe Contepomi has not tried to hide the size of the challenge. Instead, he has trusted Moreno with an opportunity that could define the beginning of his international career. It is almost like walking onto the biggest stage for the first time with the brightest lights shining directly at you. The pressure is enormous, but so is the opportunity. And that is exactly what makes rugby so special. A young player does not get to choose when his biggest challenge arrives. Sometimes, it comes immediately. For Francisco Moreno, that challenge is the Springboks. Argentina will need more than courage, though. They will need discipline. Against a team like South Africa, giving away unnecessary penalties can be extremely costly. The Springboks have experienced kickers, powerful forwards, and players capable of turning small mistakes into points. Los Pumas cannot afford to lose concentration. The Argentine backs will also have an important role. Players such as Lucio Cinti, Faustino Sanchez Valerolo, Ignacio Mendy, and Geronimo Priscintelli will face a defensive challenge against a South African side packed with physical runners and intelligent decision-makers. The young players must not allow the reputation of the opposition to influence their decisions. They have to trust their skills and play the rugby that brought them to this level. For South Africa, the objective will be much clearer. They will want to control territory, dominate the physical battle, and gradually force Argentina into defensive mistakes. Rassie Erasmus knows that the home crowd can make the opening stages uncomfortable, so the Springboks will be looking for composure. They do not need to win the match in the first 20 minutes. They simply need to remain patient and execute their plan. That patience could become extremely important. Argentina may start with incredible energy. They could attack every collision, chase every kick, and make every breakdown a battle. For 30 or 40 minutes, the game could look completely different from what the pre-match predictions suggest. Los Pumas could stay within touching distance. They could even put South Africa under serious pressure. But international rugby is an 80-minute battle. And that is where the Springboks have one of their greatest advantages. As the match approaches the final quarter, South Africa can turn to players such as Handra Pollard, Marco van Staden, and Jan-Hendrik Wessels. Fresh legs against a tiring Argentine side could completely change the momentum. Suddenly, the collisions become harder. The defensive gaps become wider. The pressure becomes heavier. This is the famous South African bomb squad philosophy in action. Argentina may spend an hour fighting to keep the Springboks under control, only for South Africa's bench to arrive with another wave of physicality and experience. That does not mean Argentina should fear the final 20 minutes. Instead, it means they must prepare for them. Their best chance may be to build a scoreboard position early enough that South Africa are forced to chase the game. If Los Pumas can remain within a score entering the final stages, the pressure could work in their favor. The Springboks, however, will believe that their depth can eventually break the resistance. And this is where the prediction becomes so interesting. Argentina have enough talent to make this match much closer than some people expect. Their home advantage is significant. Their forwards can create problems at the breakdown. Their backs can punish defensive mistakes. Their inexperienced players have something that cannot be measured by statistics, the freedom to surprise. But South Africa have experience. They have depth. They have leadership. And they have a bench capable of changing the game. The most likely story is therefore not a comfortable Springbok victory from the opening whistle. Argentina could make South Africa work extremely hard. Los Pumas could remain competitive for long periods and force the visitors to deal with genuine pressure. But as the match moves toward its final stages, South Africa's depth may finally begin to tell. For Siya Kolisi, returning as captain provides another opportunity to lead his country through a difficult away test. For Ebenezebeth, the physical battle will be another chance to impose his presence. For Sasha Feinbogmungomezulu and Morn van den Berg, the match offers an opportunity to demonstrate why they remain such important parts of South Africa's future. For Argentina, the story is different. This is about proving that the next generation can stand alongside the established stars. It is about players like Francisco Moreno discovering what Test rugby truly demands. It is about Pablo Matera leading